here's the three things that we're going to go over today, the three different topics, right? So number one is the types of holiday parties that we should all be thinking about in 2021 and 2022 even. The 5 elements of every great plan, and then we are going to actually plan parties together. Myself, Sarah, Kate, and Allison, we are doing this for our client. We literally have 5 events in the next 2 weeks that we are doing for our clients in the holiday season. And so we took what we are doing for our clients and packaged them into easy to understand templates for you guys, which are the last thing we're going to go over. All right, so the first one, the 3 types of holiday parties, okay? Here they are for you really quick. It is virtual, hybrid, or in person. Now, this might be a refresher for you, or you might not have heard the word hybrid yet. But virtual, obviously, is kind of what we're doing right now. This I would classify as a virtual event. You're gathering your team together, whether that's on Zoom or online, and you're doing it on a certain platform where everybody's at different locations, okay? In person is obviously you're getting everybody together to be there with you in person. And then the last one is hybrid, okay? Hybrid is between the two because it's kind of a mixture of the two of them. And that's where, for example, I'm gonna show you a picture here. This is a picture of a holiday party that we did last year virtually. We went to this client's in Atlanta. We went to their office. We had a decorator come in. So they said, hey, can you help us decorate? We said, sure, let us bring someone to help with that. We brought in the equipment. And so this was a virtual event, but we are turning it hybrid. And so here's a quick behind the scenes video that I got last year. So there's the CEO of the company. Here's Billy Bowie, our founder and president, actually like talking to the camera. He's rocking like a holiday themed blazer. And you can see behind the scenes. Now, this virtual event, if you can imagine 40 people in that room while this is all going on, that is what we are classifying as a hybrid event where there is an in-person audience and there's an online audience. So at this client, I was literally talking with them earlier, they're gonna have 40 to 50 people in the room, and then we're gonna be streaming it online. And so this is a picture of myself last year for the holiday party season with the Atlanta airport. Is called Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. With the Hartsfield-Jackson team, we actually did their holiday party on Zoom, and it was a ton of fun. People dressed up, they did decorations. And if you want different ideas for a holiday party, which I don't go into all of these ideas today, but we do have an amazing YouTube video where myself, Sarah, Kate, and Allison talk about some ideas. And then this is a picture of an in-person event for a holiday season. This is kind of an awards banquet gala that this one company does every single year. And this was at the Coca-Cola Roxy venue in Atlanta 2 years ago when it was about 300 to 400 people in the room. They gave away awards, they gave away gifts, they had networking. So those are the 3 different types. And it's important for us to remember, the reason why I want to talk about this with everyone briefly is it's important to focus on which one is best for your organization or for your clients, or even for your family at the time, because everyone has pros and cons, right? Virtual is obviously the safest from, let's just be real, from COVID, and we all know what's going on in the world. But it's also sometimes the most challenging. How do you make people feel like they're connecting with one another, right? How do you make it professional? How do you make it fun? Those can be really challenging, especially if you're not used to doing things where you have like multiple cameras, multiple camera angles. If you don't have professional setup equipment with different microphones and different things, virtual can be really challenging. Like even Zoom, my team and I were looking at Zoom events as a platform rather than doing like Zoom meetings and Zoom webinars, right? There's so many different options out there. So virtual is definitely one. Now, a pro and con for hybrid is you can allow people to kind of pick their poison. Like, hey, do you want to be in person or do you want to be online? Or, hey, we don't have enough budget to pay for everyone to fly in and pay for their food and their hotel, but we can pay for a nicer studio to broadcast from and then have everybody else while we have a core group of people where we are. Or is it in person? Hey, we don't want to do online. We'd rather be in person, but then you might have some people opt out, right? Let's just be real. So those are the pros and cons to each. Are there any questions, thoughts, comments, things you want to talk about here? Going once. Going twice. Sold to everyone on Zoom. All right, here we go. So now we get to go into the 5 elements that every great plan has, okay? There's 5 of them. And again, this can apply to a 5K, to a banquet, this can apply to a conference, but here's what they are, and you've probably seen these words before. Here in the United States, they're pretty common when people start to ask about, well, let's ask some better questions, right? It's who, what, where, when, and why. But when you think about it, and you go deeper into each one of these, then this is what pops up when we think about who, what, where, when, and why when it applies to a holiday party. Now, this is for all 3 types, right? So the who, you're going to have multiple who's. You're going to have your production team with their roles and responsibilities. You're going to have your audience, and you're going to have your vendors, right? Your catering or your audiovisual vendor. So there's multiple who's. The what, when you think about it for your holiday party, is your agenda or your run of show. What is happening? What is going to be on screen? What video is going to play? What are they going to do? And I have those agendas and run of shows for each virtual, in-person, and hybrid for you, and we're going to go over those in just a few minutes. The where is obviously the venue. So if you're going in person, it's going to be, where's everyone gathering together? If you're doing it virtual, where are you broadcasting from? Like right now, I'm sitting in Jacksonville, Florida, broadcasting to all of you fine people that are located literally all over the United States and all over the globe. And then a hybrid one would be, hey, the production studio where the live studio audience, if you've seen those TV shows, are, and then you're broadcasting to all over, plus the platform, which right now the platform is Zoom, or you could use Hopin or Microsoft Teams or whatever that is. Then the when is obviously the date and time. I don't really need to go into that with you guys, but that's the when. And then the why is really, really core to your holiday party, because the why of your holiday party could look different depending upon what season you're in as a business, as well as what season you're in just as an organization and what you're trying to accomplish. So do you want the core purpose to celebrate? Do you want the core purpose to give awards? Is the core purpose to just refresh everyone? You don't want to make it too formal. You just want to have a good time together to focus on company culture and give your team a break because maybe they've been working really hard together. So those are the 5 elements of every single great plan. And I hope that you see this threaded into all 3 plans that I'm about to give you for virtual, in-person, and hybrid. Before I move on, can you type in chat or something? I need to know if you're still with me. You can give me a thumbs up. I'm going to go into gallery view where you're still here. Say, got it. I'm good. Let's move on. I got the thumbs up emoji on your screen. Thumbs up emoji. I like it. I'm still with you. Okay, we're good. No questions. So now let's go into the actual plan. Now, in order to share these with you, we wanted to make it sticky and give you some sort of way of remembering these plans. And so here's what we came up with. Your holiday party is a lot like a sandwich, okay? A sandwich. And here's what we mean by that. If you take a look at this sandwich and we break it down into its individual elements. Look at this amazing picture where someone like either dropped a sandwich or they hung it up by strings. It's kind of floating in space there. Well, the sandwich of how your holiday party is like a sandwich is if you take a look at the bottom there, it's kind of hard to see, but that is a plate down there. So where your sandwich is resting, where your event is taking place, that is a lot like the venue or the platform. Sometimes it needs to be on fine china and fine dining. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it needs to be just maybe your sandwich is wrapped up and it's just kind of a casual thing. Well, then the bread of the sandwich is the pre-show and the post-show, okay? Now, the interesting thing about the bread is sometimes people don't really talk about it. Other times people are like, oh my gosh, did you see the bread on that sandwich? It was incredible, right? Sometimes people are really into it. But the pre and the post show is super important because they are the bookends of your event. It holds your sandwich or your holiday party together. All right. Then the next element, the reason like that the thing that people will remember or the reason why they're attending is because what are you going to do at your event, right? The reason why someone is going to buy a sandwich is because they're hungry and they need some kind of sustenance. So right there in the middle of your screen, you will see that there's like turkey or ham floating in midair, and that could be your awards or your activities. And then with everything else, you've got the welcome. Your leader of your organization could cast vision. You can have games and activities. And then your decorations, your food and beverage would be maybe like the sauce or like the cheese. And here's the interesting thing about this. I don't know about how many of you have ever experienced this, but a couple years ago, I went to a holiday party. It was a company holiday party for our company. I remember that I got an award. I remember that we sang the 12 Days of Christmas, like there was 12 different people, and I remember it was really fun and engaging. But I don't remember the table decorations. I don't remember what we ate. I remember it was good, but I don't remember like what I actually ate. I just remember those other elements. So while they are important, it's almost like the sauce, like the cheese and the sauce are important and they add to the flavor, but they're not the most important thing. But some people tend to focus on it a lot. All right. Now, here is the first plan that I have for you. I told you that our team does this a lot, and so you can take a screenshot of this if you would like to. I'll even turn my face off so that you can see it without me in your picture. But this is our virtual event plan. And Allison and Sarah Kate helped me they helped sit with me and put this together. And either Allison or Sarah Kate, would one of you be able to answer, like, why is a virtual event typically shorter than an in-person event?
I can go for it, Sarah Kate. Your virtual event, you really get special. Oh, Sean. Okay.
You're
There,
good.
you already screenshotted the video. Right. Virtual events are interesting because, like this, we're all able to connect pretty immediately. So if you're giving out an award, no one's going to be walking up to the stage. They're going to just put their screen up like Sean just did with me. If the president of the company is going to come up and give a keynote talk, he's just going to pop up on screen rather than taking time to walk up and down the steps and stop and take a photo. We're taking screenshots and we're having a lot more immediate interaction on a virtual event. So a virtual event tends to be a good bit shorter than an in-person event. So.
And I would add to that, not only that, because it definitely takes less time to like give awards out and things because you're literally just bringing people up like we just did. But not only that, you want your virtual event to be shorter because with a virtual event, like you've got people sitting in front of a screen and they have a tendency to want to do that less than if you're in person. So an in-person event, like a holiday party, you could have go for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, whereas you want to condense it and shorten it because you have fewer amount of time and attention span. Like right now, my wife and daughter are in the other room, and at any point you could see a little 4-year-old girl with pigtails run in here and jump on me and start to mess with the microphone, right? So there's other things that are drawing people's attention. So you want it to be a shorter time span. So I'm going to put this back up here and we're going to go over this together. So thank you, Allison, for helping explain that. And so with the virtual event plan, if you notice, we have it even line itemed out by the minutes for you. And I would even say, take this and go deeper and say, okay, who is giving the welcome, which is for 5 to 10 minutes? And then at the end of that welcome, are they introducing the leadership team, which would be maybe the CEO who's speaking for 10 to 20 minutes? So starting from the top, you could have a pre-show, 15 to 30 minutes. You want to be on your platform, ready to go. Like myself, Allison, and Sarah Kate for this workshop, we were in Zoom early. We were testing out microphones. We were testing out music. We were testing out slides. We were talking behind the scenes. And so we were ready pre-show. All right. So you can do different things. Then you can do a welcome for 5 to 10 minutes, which is a lot like what I did. Then you can have the company CEO, or maybe it's the department head or someone speak for 10 to 20 minutes about what you have accomplished together and where you are going in the future together. Then you can do what we call engagement pieces. So an engagement piece you can see on the screen here would be like a keynote speaker or a musical performance or a battle of the bands or a give back activity or a competition. Maybe it's a virtual game show. We do those for a lot of different groups. So something for 15 to 30 minutes. And again, you can take this and adjust the times for yourself. Then maybe you want to, after you do something fun together, you want to celebrate together because everybody's already warmed up. They're having a good time. They're ready to go. And now they're ready to clap and cheer and celebrate their people. So you can do awards for 20 to 40 minutes, awards based upon your company values or the top salesperson, the top customer service rep. And then you can give away gifts. And then the after party would be, we generally think about 10 to 15 minutes. That's if everybody is all together. Now, of course, you can take this and make it your own. Maybe the after party is you send everybody to breakout rooms and you let them hang out with groups of 5 to 6 people. So this is a really simple plan for your virtual event. Does anybody have any questions, things you want to chime in on, any comments? Going once. Going twice.
I don't know if anyone's planning a virtual holiday party. You're here to get info on planning a certain kind of holiday party, we're guessing. Is anyone planning a virtual one?
That's a great question, Allison. So in chat, if you had to choose, if you were planning your holiday party, would it be virtual, hybrid, or in person? That's a great question. I should have thought of that, but that's why we've got Allison here and Sarah Kate. So, Allison, what do you think most people are going to say? Virtual, in person, or hybrid? What do you think?
I think that it's going to be hard for people not to be led by what they actually need to do this year based on their company's policies when it comes to COVID. I think if everyone got to pick freely, people would want to do in person, but I have a feeling people might pick virtual.
Okay, got it. Virtual, let's see, we've got in person, we have remote employees, so hybrid in future will be likely, got it. We think it will be in person, but we are small, totally understand that. Ours is going to be in person this year because it's there's 4 people at the company plus spouses and maybe a couple chillins running around. Those are kids, for those who don't know the language of the southeastern United States. That's what a chillin is a kid. So in person, hybrid, maybe some virtual out there. Got it. Okay.
That's a great segue for what's next, Sean.
That is a great segue. I'm going to drop Allison down and we're going to go back to the screen. And now we're going to talk to the in-person crowd. All right. So here is almost the same or similar type of item, but you can see that we have allotted more time to certain elements. So the pre-show, still with music, logo, talking to the guests from the microphone, making announcements, about 30 minutes or so. Allow people to walk in the doors 30 minutes early. You'll start to see the early birds there. So you want to be ready at least 30 minutes beforehand. Then maybe a 10-minute welcome. Give yourself a little bit more time. You can have people walk to the front of the room and engage with the host or MC or whoever that is. Then you can give more time to the leadership team because maybe you have multiple people. Maybe it's the CEO and the CFO and maybe the CMO who talks. Then you can give even more time for the engagements. You can do maybe instead of just one of a keynote speaker or a give back, maybe you can do both. Bring in a keynote speaker like a surprise celebrity guest and do something give back. And then the awards, 30 minutes to an hour. Again, like Allison said, the awards are going to take longer because people have to walk from the back of the room to the front of the room if you're in person and you're doing it in a large space with a lot of people. Then gifts, about the same amount of time. You can stretch it out if you would like to. And then the after party. Now, the after party is going to be probably 30 minutes, maybe up to even 2 hours, depending upon what you do, but at least 30 minutes to an hour for people to kind of hang out, get to know other people. They can walk between tables and do different things. Dancing. We did a holiday party, that picture that I showed you guys a while ago at this one for this organization at a different event. The Beach Boys came as a surprise musical guest and we had these huge curtains, and all of a sudden at the end of this event, actually it was this event just at a different venue, all of a sudden we dropped the curtains and there's the Beach Boys, and the after party kicked off for about 2 hours. So it can look differently depending upon what you're looking for and what you're trying to accomplish, but at least 30 minutes to an hour for the after party we recommend, because you don't want to just make everybody like leave. You want to give them time to hang out. Any questions? Any comments? Going once. Going twice. I'm distracted by Sarah Kate has this fireplace in the background behind her head. I'm digging that. Thank you, Sarah Kate.
A wonderful distraction, right? We're trying to stay on theme here.
It's true. It's true. Well, I'm going to spotlight her for a second. Here we go. Right there with on the TV, we've got the Netflix fireplace making a
That's
special
right.
appearance.
I live in Colorado, so I got to stay on the season here.
Also, you have a really good like Christmas village underneath.
There's a Christmas village. You got a Christmas tree.
She's
Well,
very-
Fully in right here.
And this is actually a great example of something that you can do at your virtual event. We've got a group that's doing their virtual event on December 16th. And one of the things that we're doing is we're doing the MTV cribs, and then you fill in the blank with like your company edition. And what you do is you just bring up one person at a time. You let them show off their holiday decorations. So Sarah Kate would be there, and maybe she like picks up her laptop and walks it around and do something fun. So just a simple idea for you guys. It's some things that you can accomplish. So thanks, Sarah Kate, for letting us bring you up and highlight your Netflix fireplace with your little like the little holiday village underneath it.
Christmas village. Yep. I would walk you guys around, but you'll see too many sleeping dogs. So I'll avoid that for now. Save that for next time.
For this call, right?
I feel like everyone's now going to
putting them together.
I think everyone's going to stay on here now just so they can see the sleeping dogs at the end of this thing. So
yeah. Well, if you're on at the end, I'll bring you guys around and show you that. For sure.
I love it. I love it. Well, and now that brings us to our last plan that we have for you guys. I'll leave my face off here for a while, but this is hybrid event plan, and you can see it's part one. All the text wouldn't fit into one page, and so I put it into 2 pages, so I'll show that to you here in just a second. But with a hybrid event plan, the difference is you want to plan for the in-person audience to do something for a while you're getting set up for the virtual audience. When you have both audiences together, you want to have it about the same length of time as you would do something virtual, because again, half or more or less, however, but there's going to be some people online, and remember, you've got their attention for less, and then give them more time on the back end. So let's take a look at this from the start. We've got the pre-show, which would be on site. So I'll show you this picture again to show you what I mean by this, but you can see the pre-show here. We've said for about an hour to an hour and a half. Now with this, at this location, and with this group where there's going to be 40 to 50 people in the room in a different space. So this is like the production studio space. In a different space, they're going to have food and beverage and maybe like cocktail tables for people to walk around and to get some food and hang out for an hour to hour and a half. Now, we are not going to bring them in because we're going to be in this space in 2 weeks. We're not going to bring this group, like the 40 to 50 people that are going to be in the live audience, into this space. We're not going to bring them in until it's about 15 minutes before we start the virtual stream. So you can see with all of these cameras and the lights and everything, don't feel the pressure to have this set an hour to hour and a half, although it would be nice, right? But get that set and then bring them in towards the nearer the start time for your hybrid event. All right? Now, going back to the hybrid event plan, after you have the pre-show, you can make it cocktail hour or a meal, or they can hang out. Like we were playing cornhole with a group during the last hybrid event we did for them. Then after that, then you want to go the pre-show on the live stream, which would be on Zoom or Hopin for 15 to 30 minutes. Then do a 5 to 10 minute welcome. Then your leadership, the leadership of the company, can speak for 10 to 20 minutes. Then again, the engagements, whether that's a virtual game show or whatever that looks like. We just did trivia with one group, which was really fun. And if you do it at a hybrid audience, we recommend alternating where you do, let's do one trivia game for the hybrid, for the in-person audience, and then one trivia question for the virtual, and then one trivia question for in-person, then one trivia question for everyone online. So alternate between the two. Then you can do some awards. Again, try to alternate it. And then you can do the gifts as well. And this is the second part of this plan. And I'll remove my face for you guys for a second. But then for the second part is then you got to think about the after party. How do you do an after party on the stream, on Zoom or on Hopin? And then do the after party on site where people are, they get to stand up, they get to network and walk around. And for example, if you do something that's the after party on the stream, you could set up like a GoPro that so that everyone that's online can see everyone that's in the room. And when you have that GoPro set up, people can then walk towards the screen and they can wave at their friends and they can say, hey, how's it going? Maybe they won't hear them because they won't have a microphone, but they would at least get to talk to them and wave to them and see them online. So that's just a quick example of what it would be like to have an after party for the on stream. Don't make it anything long because you want to let those people go because they're in their homes, and then do something after party-ish for the people that are in the room to hang out. Now, again, you can take this and adjust it to your own, and maybe you do virtual networking as the after party so it can go longer. But if you're just going to have, like, I would not recommend having like a 30 to 45 minute networking hangout of the in the room and broadcast that for 45 minutes, because that's going to make your online audience feel left out. So those are the 3 plans that I have for you guys. Now, as a bonus, there's a couple of key elements that I have for you. Before I talk about these key elements, does anyone have any questions, thoughts, comments, anything you want to ask? I'm looking in chat. I've got nothing so far. I'm going to go to gallery view here on Zoom. Yeah, Tim, what's up?
All right. So the way that even you're running this particular, I know you're talking to us about the party, but yeah, you're essentially hosting some form of that today. And I wanted to know, you're running 2 camera to keep it a little bit interesting. And you're also using, there we go. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Yeah. And you've got some kind of switcher where you're going in and out of your presentation with, but I noticed that you're running it, somebody else isn't. So I just wondered, what kind of switcher are you using that is making the management of this easy enough that you can do your presentation thing, but also not be distracted by the technology?
Yeah, definitely. So this one's a little bit unique because I am switching camera angles here and I'm switching to full screen. If you're interested in the equipment that we're using, we get this question a lot. And so in chat, I just put a link to our website, and it's got, just a side note, they are Amazon affiliate links, so we do get a small commission if you buy it through Amazon. But we get this question a lot, and so it's simply called an ATEM Mini Pro. And actually, you know what I can do? No, my phone is on here. Let me see if I can get my iPad on, and towards the end, I'll show you guys my home studio and what I have set up in here. And but typically, when we do a virtual event, like for example, for our client that's coming up, this is a great question, Tim. So for our client that's coming up in 2 weeks, Billy is going to be in our main studio, which is where Allison is. Allison turned her camera off. She might be turning on the cameras in the Elevate studio here. But I've got a home studio where I do some virtual events. But Sarah Kate, who's on our team, she is in Colorado. Myself and Allison are going to be at a different venue doing a different event for a different client. And so Billy's going to be in studio where he's got 3 different camera angles. He's got 2 cameras like I have plus a GoPro. And then what we typically do is we typically have someone who's the MC, moderator, facilitator. They are just focused on the experience and the content. And then we usually have someone behind the scenes in studio with them, like that's actually pushing the buttons to change between camera 1 and camera 2, which is where Allison was sitting when you saw her in our office. And then we typically also have a third person. Sometimes that technician person is running multiple hats. But then a lot of times what we do is we have someone who's just simply a Zoom manager. Like for example, Sarah Kate, who's in Colorado, you can be the Zoom host, and you can assign someone to be your Zoom co-host. And a co-host can spotlight people, which is it's what I'm doing right now, where it's me and you side by side for everyone to see. I'm controlling who sees that. Allison can do that as well. Sarah Kate is going to do that from Colorado for the event that's going to be taking place. So we actually, I think we turned it into a blog. I'll have to find it and maybe send it to everyone. But we actually listed out 9 or 10 different roles that we typically have. And sometimes one person has multiple roles. But that's typically how we're doing it. And then let me see if I can log in. It'll be kind of a fun behind the scenes shot. Let me see if I can do that in a little bit. Actually, you know what? I've got an easy way to do that. After I share the key elements, I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys my screen so I can show you guys what I've got going on. But does that help answer your question, Tim?
Yep, it does. Thank you.
Oh, I like it. Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Awesome. All right, I'm going to drop you down. And then, all right, now let's see. Will you share slides? That's a great question. Will I share the slides? Typically, we don't share the slides because it is kind of copyrighted content. But what we will do is we are going to work on downloading a recording of this and sharing that for everyone as well. So it'll probably go up on our YouTube channel. So that's a great question. Thank you. What are some recommended gifts for a small office less than $10 for the employees from Kenny? Sarah, Kate, and Allison, I want to bring you guys up so that you guys can help with this one.
I think that Kenny actually clarified less than 10 people, not $10. Is that
Got
correct,
it.
Kenny?
Oh.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to brainstorm this real quick and help answer just with some quick ideas off the top of your heads?
We can answer both, honestly. That's helpful. I read it. Yeah, you're right. Less than 10, not $10. I was going to say nobody's mad about a Starbucks gift card, even if you're not a coffee person. I actually don't really even like Starbucks, but being able to take my nephew to get a cake pop or doing something fun like that, I never am upset about getting a Starbucks gift card. So that's under $10 or more. Allison, what about you?
Yeah, and then if we're going the other way to do less than 10 people, I would start with a logistical question of how much do you have to spend? Mm-hmm. So if you have more to spend, you could do something neat experience-wise, and you could take them to something locally and do an activity together. I find that, especially in this season, if we're doing an event with clients, this is when they kind of let out all the stops and you're trying to make memories and celebrate the year that you just had. So that's something that you can easily do with an activity, whether it be something like Topgolf, or you bring in if you have a team less than 10, y'all can all go to someone's house. You could bring in a private chef. They could teach you how to make something. You could do gingerbread making house contests. You could, I'm letting Sean in the weight room. And so you could do something activity based, but also make it competitive, and maybe you spend the money on a really fun prize for winners if you do a competition, or a really fun experience and memory that you can make together as a team. But
yeah, I definitely love that idea, Allison. I love the experience and just like building those memories for sure. I love that.
But Kenny, do you know if you have a budget? Is that something you can share with us?
Yes.
Oh, did we lose Kenny?
Nope.
Oh, Kenny, do you have a budget that you feel comfortable sharing with us? Like how much money per person? Got it. Between 200 and 500.
Nice.
AirPods, always a win.
Yeah.
AirPods. As I'm wearing them right now. I think that's something too that can be utilized both. I know that my husband's gotten those as a gift from his company before, and that's something that can be used both professionally, so in the workspace, but also obviously a really great gift from a personal level. So
yeah, I do know that we'd have to go back and check, but we did a virtual event for actually a law firm in California last year, and they did personalized gifts. They found one website where they basically knew their people, and they did personalized gifts that was between that budget range, I believe, maybe in between $50 and $300 per person. And it was a website that literally you select the items. I think you upload the person's name and the address, and they do all the packaging and send it for you. So I don't know off the top of my head. There it is, uncommongoods.com. Thank you, Allison. And that is not a referral link, but it probably should be. We should be getting paid for that right now.
Uncommon Goods, sponsor us.
Cool.
What's cool about that website is it's all interesting gifts that you might not see in the store or want to get yourself. So, make your own mixers for a cocktail, or make your own art at home, or not even make your own things, just like tasty treats or things that you won't see and you wouldn't buy yourself. So it's a cool website.
100%. And now Allison, I'm going to let you help drive the spotlighting and not spotlighting, because I'm going to turn the camera on my iPad, and I can see you guys now from 2 different angles right here. So here's my iPad, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the button and flip the camera. Let's see, no audio. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera, and I'm going to back up a little bit. There we go. Did that do it? It didn't do it yet. Oh, still later. Switch camera. Okay, so now you can see my setup. So you can see here's you guys. I've got 2 different cameras right here, and I've got a TV right here. And you have to forgive me, like this is like the real behind the scenes, okay? So we've got like my open closet over here with part of my wardrobe and some of our equipment. But I've got right here, this is my streaming laptop, and we are live on Clubhouse right here on my phone. And then this is my content that I've got right here. And then obviously my podcast microphone. And there's actually an amazing online course that we found. So this is the lighting. So this is just simply, it's what's called a soft light, which is a ring light is kind of like a hard light. And you have to forgive me, I know I walked away from my microphone. But a hard light is more what it's like to be a ring light. And a soft light is more like this box kind of light that you can see. And the soft light just gives it a little bit softer on the features. It doesn't make your different contours and different things happen as much. So that's it right there. Welcome to the behind the scenes tour. And I'm going to turn this camera off now. So Allison, would you mind spotlighting my other one? And we will leave the meeting with my iPad so I don't chew up my Wi-Fi, and we're good to go. And that's the other trick too, is to make sure you're hardwired in. So I hope that was beneficial to see for you guys as well. All right, cool. Any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. We do have about 14 more minutes. I'm watching the clock tick down, so maybe now 13 minutes. And I do want to share with you guys these different key elements, okay? And sorry, Kenny, to answer real quick, Clubhouse is a social media platform. And so Clubhouse is a way that you can host basically your own talk radio show. If you want to, you can reach out to us on either email or LinkedIn, and we can send you an invite to Clubhouse. But it's just simply an iPhone app where you can talk with other people and host public rooms. And it's just something that we're testing out for today. All right, so now the key elements, here they are. Without further ado, the key elements of your holiday party, here's one big one. Now, if we go back to the sandwich analogy, this would be something that's like a staple of the sandwich, something that is holding it all together, right? So if you are planning your own holiday party, think about this. Regardless of if it's in your job description, which it might not be, or if it's in your job title, which it again might not be, then I would still classify you as the event planner because you're leading your holiday party. And so as an event planner, you are collecting information from all different areas, from maybe it's your company branding and your HR rules. Maybe your client is your CEO or your CMO. Then you've got vendors, your venue, your boss. And so you've got all of these different items that are contributing, and you have to take all of this, filter it, and put the plan together, right? Well, then not only that, but you have to get information to your audience. You can do this in really 3 ways. You can do it before the event through email and messages and Slack and those kinds of things. You can do it through signs at your event. But then when the event is actually happening, when the CEO is getting up and giving a talk, and after that, if you want everybody to leave the room, you need someone giving instructions, someone that's playing the host MC role. And so in order to communicate to your audience, you really need someone that they are going to listen to, which are these 3 arrows right here, right? So the MC host is communicating all of this to your audience. So what happens if something goes wrong there? Well, your audience is going to have the wrong information. So having that person who's going to be a strong personality that can welcome everybody in, that can give them instructions, that can help basically facilitate the event, that is super important. Now, myself, I'm a host moderator. I'm literally driving to Atlanta next week and then flying to Atlanta the week after. I did an event at a 5K in South Florida a couple weeks ago, actually this 2 weekends ago. And so at Elevate, we get hired to play this role a lot. You can hire externally or you can hire internally and get someone who really knows what they're doing, but we highly recommend finding at least one person to play that host role for your holiday party. If you want to know more about Elevate and what we do for event planning or consulting or MC services and what those prices entail, Allison or Sarah Kate, we're going to put a link in there where you can schedule a 20-minute call and we can go over that together. Now, the second thing is, what activities are you doing? Well, sometimes a lot of people come to us for ideas like that Gift It or Lift It game that I played at the beginning. Well, we have taken all of our best game ideas, icebreakers for holiday parties, and different items, and we put them on our store, which is available for purchase, as well as this is a behind-the-scenes look at the Elevate game library. Now, in the game library are over 35 different games, and if you were to try to put together your own game or your own library, these are all the steps you're going to have to go through. You've got to search for the games, filter through them, watch the videos, pick the right game, pay for licenses, learn how to play it, make games, make sure it works, and then actually play it at your event, right? It can be overwhelming. It's a lot of work. Trust us. This is what we do. And so what we have done is we have simplified it for our clients, for you, so that if you want your holiday party to be full of icebreakers and fun and laughter, or even if it's a company event coming up, it doesn't have to be a holiday party, you can buy access to the game library, pick the game, and then play it at your event. And as I mentioned, inside there are over 35 different games. There's video instructions, downloadable instructions. You can, if there's a presentation like what you've seen here, it's included there as well as additional resources and support. Someone literally bought a group of items from us today, and I was chatting with them on the website. So what's inside is, inside the game library, you can see that number one, it's less than $100 for the year. And inside are video instructions, downloadable instructions, which you can see here. And this is an example of what you see in a video, as well as underneath the video are the downloadable templates for the slides and different things. And then this is an example of one of our favorites. This is called Don't Forget the Lyric. This is a popular song, which I'm not going to play for you guys for copyright purposes, but this is Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk. And so what you would do is you would play the music right there. Oh, I'm actually playing it. That's supposed to be muted. Sorry. But basically, you play the song, you let people guess what the lyrics are. Don't forget the lyric. They have to fill in the blank. These are some comments that we've gotten from some different people who have used our icebreakers and games at their event. Valerie said, fantastic, I tried it and it works. Thank you. Need I say more, right? So that's just an example of that. And so if you're interested in either the Elevate game library or you're interested in booking a call with us, we're going to put those links in chat, which the schedule a call is there as well. And then the other thing that you can do is you can hire us to be a part of the entire holiday party or a part of just one small part of your holiday party. For example, we do virtual holiday shows for people, a game show that we call the Variety Show. Now, this is Billy Bowie, who's our founder and president, in our studio in Atlanta, doing a game show for a group that really wanted to have some fun. So this can be for 300 people or for 10 people. And this is an example of what it looks like in the studio. So you can see that it's interactive, it's fun. Billy is in the studio, or myself is in the studio, or Allison is in the studio. We've got people behind the scenes. We've got interactive elements. We've got games. In fact, with one event that we did recently, we had about 200 people on Zoom, and in 2 hours, there were 1,328 chat messages that were sent, because just with today, you saw earlier how we did something interactive. Well, imagine that multiplied by 200 people that know each other. So they're joking around with each other. They're having a good time. And so with a virtual game show, if you do choose to hire someone like Elevate, this is what you get above the water on the iceberg. What your team sees is a professional and fun game show. And then underneath the water, what you're paying for is a producer, an MC, a studio, and a technician, our thousands of hours of experience, the customization it takes to make it customized to your branding, the mistakes that we've made so that you don't have to, and all of our training. And in fact, this is a quote from one of our clients. They said, "This was one of the coolest things I have ever done for charity on a virtual space. Thanks for coordinating it, and let's do it again." Kenny, that's a great question for what does that cost to do the variety show. Schedule a call with me. That depends. We have two different levels. We have one that's very customized, and then we've got one where you basically give us our logo, and then the rest of it is our branding. And it depends upon the number of people and how much time it takes for us to put it together. So if you want to, just schedule 20 minutes with me and we can talk. And when you click on that link, that's what this is going to look like. It's going to go to my calendar. You can see what's available, and you can schedule 20 minutes with me to talk either this week or next week. And I would be more than happy to give you a quote on that call. So thank you for asking that question, Kenny. Now, if you've
wait until February.
What was that?
He won't make you wait until February.
I will not make you wait until February. That is 100% accurate. I can give you a quote on that 20-minute call that you schedule with me. So I promise that there's no pressure. It's just events. Every event is a little bit different. And so what you need, like we basically charge for our people's time, the equipment that's needed. So whether that's our studio in Atlanta, or if we need to bring a studio to you or something like that. Cool. So just every event's a little bit different. So it just helps to get a little bit more context around that. So thank you for asking that question. Any other questions, you guys? Anything else? Type in chat if you're still with me. If anything was helpful, I would love to know, is there one thing that I shared with you that was helpful here today? No, thank you. Got it. No questions. Thumbs up. I love it. What is one thing? You can unmute yourself. We'd love to hear from you guys. I can remove my spotlight. We can just go into gallery view. I'd love to hear from maybe one person in chat or on unmute yourself. What is one thing that you found was helpful today? And I know that, is it pronounced Vanjie? You said that you didn't write down all of the plans that I had, so I can put those back up on screen as well.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. So here it is. So here's the virtual event plan. I'll move my face out of the way. So you can take a picture. What's one thing that helped you today? I can embrace the silence. One thing you learned.
I'll share something, Sean.
Yeah. What's up, Tim?
So this is you've mentioned that we have worked together before, so I need to let everybody know this is unpaid commercial. One of the things that you display so well, Sean, everybody from your whole team, is energy. And so, I know that we didn't necessarily talk about that, but it is such an important thing. And everybody at Elevate, you exude that all the time. And it's so much more necessary when you have the hybrid and the virtual going on. I think it's tougher because you don't always have the crowd to play off of. And so I know we didn't spend a lot of time talking about that, but I'm reminded just by watching you lead us through this time together, I'm reminded of how important energy is. And here's the commercial part. If any of you guys are thinking about working with Elevate, there are two things, regardless of what your needs might be, that I can promise you will get. I promise you will get energy that goes through the roof, and I promise you will get creativity. There's all kinds of different events in needs vary from company to company and event to event, but every single time you work with these guys, you're going to get those two things, energy and creativity. So thanks for displaying that today, Sean.
Yeah, my pleasure. Well, Tim, I need to have you on every single webinar that we do just for that quote right there. Well, at least we're recording this, so now I can have you on every one that we do.
You got it. I've given all the rights away, so you've got it, and it's true.
I love it. Well, Tim, hey, thanks so much for being here, man. Thank you to everyone for being here. They said appreciate the enthusiasm and the ideas. It's 1 minute left, so we finished a minute early. Tim, this was a pleasure. Good to see your face. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next time. See you, everyone.